As you can see, guys, we got two videos here. One is recording in like a middle of the day, in a sunny day. One is recording in early morning day, in more cloudy day. And both of this video has been recorded on DJI Mini 3 Pro drone in D-Cinelike color profile 10 bits. Let's move to the color page and let's start color grading. First, we're gonna start from this video, and we're gonna have to apply effects to that node. Then if you don't see the effects tab, then just press on effects to open this page here, and we're gonna have to find color space transform. Then you can just type transform. It's the best way, quickest way. And as you can see, you go color space transform, and we have to apply that effect to that node. Then let's drag this to that node, and after you apply, you're gonna see that settings here from that color space transform, and we're gonna have to apply some input color space, input the gamma, and output. The output we're gonna use Rec 709 on both of them. Then just click on it, find Rec 709, Rec 709, and that's the most accurate to you're gonna see on the screens on the displays for most of the videos. And on this one, we're gonna find DJI D-Gamut. This is something that is made for DJI footage from DJI drones. And that input color space is quite correct, is quite okay. Then the color, color tonations are all correct. The second one we are going to apply here as well is a DJI D-Lock. And this is not fully correct because we didn't shoot that video in the D-Lock. We shoot that video in D-Cinelike. D-Cinelike is a little bit less flat color profile than D-Lock. The same as you got now on DJI Mini 4 Pro, you got D-Lock M. The D-Lock M as well is not the same as D-Lock. D-Lock M is a little bit less flat, but it's not that less flat like D-Cinelike is in between. Then D-Cinelike is more flat than D-Lock M, and the corrections are not 100% correct already, because you can see it's already applied a lot of colors, and to be honest, you can say that's almost even maybe done, but these colors that are quite not as you expect to see. Now at the moment, the DJI released the LUT for DJI Mini 4 Pro D-Lock M footage, and that LUT is a little bit more correct for using on that D-Cinelike, but we are going to stick with this first. I'm just going to show you how you can get a correction done in this way, and on the end I'm going to show you quickly how you can do by using the LUT as well. The LUT is not as well 100% accurate because they never release any LUT for D-Cinelike as well. There's no correct settings in the Davinci Resolve because the DJI never supply any correct setting for that, but I found this is most accurate if you do a little bit of corrections. Then let's start from exposure correction. Okay, we're gonna have to create another node before. That's gonna be our last one, and let's name this node as main transform, and this is gonna be our main node, and we're not gonna make any difference change here anymore. That is the node with this changes what we apply. We can switch the FX off, and we're gonna have a little bit more working space. And now we're gonna have to apply the add another node before. To add the node before, you can just right click and add the nodes serial before, or you can just click Shift S, gonna add the node before. Just to make sure you add this node before, and this is gonna be on the end, because if you add this after and you do some correction after, that's gonna give a little bit different effects than before. And we are going to start first from exposure. Then we are going to name this nodes as exposure. And that's going to be our first corrections. Then on the exposure, probably we are going to lift a little bit the all the colors up because it's a little bit darker, and how you can as well check what is the correct colors and things like that. Then on the right side here you got scope. On the scope, probably you can use two different ways of checking. One is the parade, that all the colors on the top, all the highlights color, they are on the top. All this darker color, they're on the bottom, and you can manipulate them by using the lift. You manipulate in the bottom colors, the darker colors, and on the top you manipulate in the brightest color. As you can see, you can push them up and down, these colors on the top. And as well, you can manipulate the middle colors by gamma manipulations, and you can see move them in between this a little bit down and up. That's how you can manipulate our colors. And as well, you got this histogram, and you can see that is the histogram here. The top bit is for brightness, the how image is exposure, or is too bright to the left, or too dark, too dark to the left and too bright to the right. This is the same as you can see on your drones, the top bits. These ones, they are just for colors. If you can't see the top one, the reason is why you're gonna have to change here on the settings, click on the settings here, from RGB to YRGB. The Y is for luminance, it's meant for lights. And most likely we're gonna lift that offset. The offset is something where you're lifting all the colors up, not only the top, not only the bottom, not only the middle. You're gonna move everything up, and we're gonna do slight corrections. We're not gonna do much because that doesn't look very incorrect. Then let's move maybe to something like this, 26.2 maybe, and we always, if we need it, we can always come back here and do a little bit more corrections, because I think this, we don't want to get these lines to go over this 1023, and we don't want to this go too much over that 0, because this is too dark as well. And let's create another node. Okay, let's add the node after. Then you can right click on the node and add a serial node, or you can Alt S click, and that's gonna add another serial node. Then we're gonna do another correction on a separate node, and we can close that clips to get a little bit better view. You can get a little bit preview of this videos. It's going to be a little bit better. You can see a little bit better. And this node we're gonna name temperature / saturation, because on this we're gonna do corrections of the saturations and temperature. The temperature is obviously, if you are moved to the left, you're gonna make more colder, or more to the right, it's gonna be more warm colors. There's two ways of doing this. First one is just to manipulate whatever you think you can achieve. If you want to have a little bit more warmer or a little bit more colder, and that's how you can get into the left and right. As well, you can change a little bit tints of the colors if they are, if you want to get them a little more green, or a little bit more like to the red purple colors, and that's how you can get a little bit manipulation on the tint. On the tints, I'm not really recommend to do any bigger change, maybe like a small, like -1, +1, something like that. Just very small, tiny change. That's the best change, or even leaving it on a 0, just to do usually temperature. But there's another way of doing this one. We can as well click on this white balance, and we're gonna have to find some most whitest color, whatever is for us is look more natural white look of color. And if we click on this one, that's gonna automatically create some temperatures and some tints corrections, and that is exactly doing the difference in between the white color and the black color. It's gonna create whatever is the most accurate white color and whatever is the most accurate black color compared to the white color. Then you have to choose some place where the white color most correctly look to the natural look of a white color when you're picking this one. This is not always going to work for you. You may find this like, because you don't really want to get this, to be honest, like we say, oh, that temperature is a little bit too cold, I don't want to have this cold. And I think in this way, in this situation as well, it's a little bit too cold. Then, but this is a good point of start to doing that white balance pick tool here on the white balance and do that correction. If you don't like it, you can always reset the settings, the all settings reset, whatever is here done. You can just click here, reset everything, or double click on the name, on the temperature, and that's going to reset that individual settings. That's everywhere on the Davinci Resolve. Whatever you click on the names, it's just resetting to the default settings, or you can reset everything. Now let's do that pick tool again. I think this is the most accurate white color, but I don't really like this. This is going a little bit too way of too cold colors. I want to have this a little bit more, maybe slightly cold, but not that cold. Like I would say probably I will go to something like this. You can as well type -30 if you want, or you can just move here to the left and right to do some corrections as well. And I think tint maybe slightly too much. Now we'll probably go to like 3.2. But as well, this is everything, whatever you want to achieve. You can leave the tints even on the 0. As you can see, probably didn't even notice any difference. Then I will probably go to that 3.5, something like that, to change a little bit of the tint of the color on that way. Yeah. And now we're gonna do the saturation. Saturation is something where you can add life to your colors. As you can see, the colors are gonna be more brighter, more life. Then you can. The good way is just to go a little bit over too crazy, and then you can lower down to more natural look. Then I can say something around 65 probably is going to be okay. Then that's quite correct. Then as you can see, we done already 2 corrections compared to this. On the top of this button, you can bypass the color corrections. Then you can switch it off whatever was us on the beginning before we start corrections, and that's how this is looking now. And you can switch the individual one off as well. That's why we are creating the nodes, because we don't want to have all these corrections on the one node, because we can switch them off. Or if you want to, like say you want to go back to exposure, now we can change exposure a little bit. You're not doing anything on the temperature, you're doing the temperature here, and you can get that correction separated on every separate line on separate nodes. Then it's better way of doing the corrections, and as well for you is going to be more easy way to correct this one later if you do some another change and you want to go back to this or switch it off and see how this was looked without. As you can see, that's how I was looked without this temperature and saturations. There's not much difference. They're always the good difference. They are not the biggest difference. You don't want to get over too crazy as well to get more natural look. Obviously, if you want to achieve something way different, than you doing this cranking up all these colors and everything a little bit higher. Okay, we're gonna create another node now, and we are going to create a node what we're gonna call him a contrast. And Alt S, another node, right click, node label, contrast. Okay, on the contrast, we are going to adjust the contrast, as is say contrast. And you can do 2 ways of doing this contrast corrections. The one is you can just correct the contrast here, add some contrast. As well on the contrast, we understand from contrast the difference in between the white and black. As well, you can add some shade. You can go down to get more shade or less shade. And as well, you can get some highlights down or up. But there is another way to doing this contrast. We can reset everything by manipulating that curves here. And I found this is the best way of doing this, because I'm always usually doing the curves and then I'm doing maybe a little bit adjustment here. I will show you how the curves working. The curves are working the same way as this, because you can get the contrast down here or up, or you can manipulate this one up, sorry, down or up this way. On the top, you got the bright sides of the colors, the most highlights colors. On the bottom, you got the most darkest color. Then, and how do you manipulate it? How do you make the curves? By clicking on that line and make sure you are on YRGB. All of them are highlighted, and this link is linked. It means all of them are linked, and you doing the corrections on all of the colors in the same time. Then usually when I'm starting here, I'm adding a couple of points, and make sure when you click in the points, as you can see, if you click the points here and drag a little bit, that's already start moving. Then get as close as possible to the middle line without moving anything. Get a couple of points here. We say I'm usually making the points before on the bottom here and after the place where most of the colors highlighted. Then somewhere here and somewhere here. Then one on the middle, usually. That's what I'm usually doing, and that is my starting point. And I will show you how the difference you can get this color manipulation. Let's move this one a little bit this way, and let's zoom this one in. If we want to get this highlight, this color here, this quite highlight on this buildings, as you can see, there's the most highlighted colors here, because if you go with the contrast fully up, you're gonna see what is the highlight most, these ones. Then if you manipulate here somewhere, and for example you're gonna create another dot here, and you're gonna manipulate this one, as you can see the contrast is only changing in these places. Then we are going to move this a little bit higher to get a little bit more information here. We can see it's gonna be a little bit higher contrast. You can see on this building, if we are this flat this way, this is 2 exposure, and this is a little bit better. Then we're can get some more information here, a little bit more natural look of that buildings here, and this is gonna be very visible on the, like you're gonna watch on this bigger screen. You're gonna see this on the TV. That's gonna make a big difference here. Then maybe this one we're gonna go a little bit down here. As you can see here, we're changing that roofs here, colors of that roofs here. It's not something where you're choosing the roof information here. No, it's just to highlight this color. Whatever was more highlighted, that's how we are changing this one. Maybe this one not that much. You can move this one a little bit here. I would say probably something like that here. And then we're gonna add another one. Probably here we're gonna move some colors here, and let's zoom this one out as well. If you're zooming something out and you want to go back to the default settings on this one to fill up everything, just get your mouse over this and just press the Z button, and that's gonna fill up everything here. And I think something like that. Maybe we got here a little bit of colors here. We get this one a little bit down here, and on this one here, as you notice, probably that's gonna make all this darkest color here more darker or more brighter. Then, as I already mentioned, highlights most lightest color on the top, and then to more darkest. In the middle here, you're gonna see that most of these colors, because that's where the colors are sitting in this place. Then if you, for example, you want to delete that, right click on any dots, you delete in the dot. Now we say you're gonna manipulate here. You see, you manipulate with almost everything here. That's how this is working, the curves. And left click, you adding the dots. Right click, you removing the dots, or if you click on the dots. I think everything look quite okay, but I think this image is needs a little bit more contrast. And if we're done with the curves and we still want to add some contrast, but we want to add to the whole complete image, we don't want to just play with the curves again because we want to apply to everything, then we just move this contrast. And I think we are going to go a little bit more higher here to probably something like this. This is without, and that is with dark contrast. But then probably I'm not gonna do the shadows and highlight because that's really done on these curves. We already manipulate our contrast here on these curves. On the highlight this place, we manipulate the contrast on the middle of this. We say this is kind of like a place where it's like a gamma, the center place, and then on the bottom here we manipulate it here, a little bit of contrast, and then later we manipulate the whole contrast here. And I think that's look quite good, quite decent. That was before, that's after. Zoom it in a little bit, you can see this a little bit better as well. Just want this a little bit better because if you see that is very small preview, then you will have to quite zoom a lot of in and out to find out if it's quite okay, and move the video as well. Just remember, if the video is moving like that, you will get different sun is different way going in there, and it's going to work in a little bit different on the image, and as well here it will be working difference because the drone is different way located. Then you will have to find something like to the corrections good for this side and for this side, like something in between them to be correct. And not always you can find everything to be perfectly correct. If you drone is this way and then it's moving the other way, and always sometimes you will have to choose which side you're gonna get better, or it's something corrections in between them to look much more natural look, or whatever you want to achieve there. I think that's look good, but we will add some another corrections here as well. We can change some colors. Well, for example, we want to get change our water. I think I want to get our water a little more greeny way than blue, because it's quite heavily blue, and maybe I want to get that trees a little bit more green than because they go into a little bit more yellowy color. Then we can do as well some corrections like this as well. Then as well, zooming this one in and out, just scroll the mouse on you the wheel, scrolling the wheel on the mouse in and out. And as I already mentioned, if you want to fill this one up, you can click it here and fit, or you can go to the different settings here manually, or just press that button and that's gonna fill up this to the full screen. Okay, we're gonna add another node now, and we are going to create another node, and we're gonna call him just the corrections, because we're gonna do some small corrections now, like additional correction, because all this image for me look quite good. I think probably you will think the same way. It is quite nice, but we can do some another corrections, and we're gonna do the corrections only on the water. The way of doing this one, if you go your node selected here, if you got this first, just make sure you're on the first on the curve, and on the curve you choose the second row here and the second icon, what is called hue versus hue, and that is the hue versus hue, and that's gonna give you that pick tool. And on the pick tool you're gonna have to click and slightly drag just to get picked colors, and we pick these colors here, and it's picking you the colors what they are here on this water. And I'm going to show you how this is exactly working. If we go up, you see it's getting crazy green, even up to like a weird red, or you can go from a blue to crazy purple colors. Obviously we're not going to do this one, we want to get this one a little bit higher here to get a little bit more greeny color, and something like that. That's without, that's with this one. We don't want to get too crazy, because if you see everything too crazy, it's not going to look natural, yeah. But just make probably as you notice here as well, they didn't change the colors here as well. This is more blue because it's different tonation of the color here, and as well here these colors didn't change. Then as well, when we still here, we can left click and drag a little bit, and that's gonna create you another point here, and that's another point of that colors here. And we're gonna go slightly up, and we're gonna change this as well down there. As you can see, all water is now changed a little bit to more greeny as well, just to make sure you are a little bit careful with this, whatever you're changing, because if you changing these colors here, these colors could be sit here somewhere as well, and then you changing them as well here, then you're not changing only colors here, because you don't know if these colors are applying somewhere else exactly the same. Then this could change colors somewhere else. Then let's, for example, go this one up. You're gonna find this is changing the colors here and here and here. And luckily you don't have anything else, but you got here. If you look on that cities there, and on this side, that's this way. But if you change here, say fully down, then as well you may notice they may start changing some colors here as well. Then we always have to be very careful if there's if this colors may sit. Luckily here the water is possibly only the water is the same color, then there's not much difference here. It's only down there these colors, then you're not changing much and you can get away with this. But yeah, it's always the best is just a small corrections, like here we say slightly up, not much corrections, and just to make sure you are not changing any different colors, because if you start changing different colors you may just leave it this one whatever it is, or just make slightly tiny lifts up. Okay, we want to get the colors here as well, but I don't want to make the same corrections here because I may like to switch them off and see the difference how it's gonna look with the blue water, and we say the trees different. Then we're gonna add parallel node, and by adding the parallel node, Alt P or add node here and add parallel node. Why we adding the parallel node? Because we're gonna get these corrections in the same place but in the separate nodes. Then it's gonna work very similar way of adding the this is the one node here, but they on the separate corrections. Then you can switch them off by you adding them by the same way. We say if you do the contrast and you want to do like a two different change of contrast, you can do the same way by doing the parallel node. And the way of doing this one, because it's the parallel node is working a little bit different. It's like working in the same place. It's like it's treating this as a one node because it's joining this together to one node and then it's sending this one out. That's why we want to get a parallel node added to these corrections for the best results. And we can call this node correction 2. And let's do some correction in that second parallel node for correction 2. Then we're gonna do the same things. We're already in that hue versus hue on the curves, and we are going to change these trees colors. Drag it here. I think these colors look a little bit different, then we can drag here as well to see. Oh, it's already highlighted this and this. Let's see if this is different. That's probably the same. That's probably the same. That's probably that's completely different. But let's stick to this 2. And we're gonna leave this 2 up. We're gonna leave this one off, but just to don't go with everything up like this way, we are going to have to add one more dot here. Let's go back and make sure we're not moving anything. And now we're gonna lift this one up, and let's see how this is gonna make the difference here. As you can see, you can get crazy up with these colors. You can do some crazy stuff. They quite look good, to be honest. Yeah, you can do something like that. I don't know if you want to create some videos and they look completely different, but you can as well achieve something like maybe you want to show this is more like an autumn time. You see, this is more like a yellow. It's like already coming to this time, but we want to get these ones a little bit down to get more green color. You see here, you're creating more greener color, and then just creating a little bit more like a blue and things like that. That's a very weird way of like some blue way. You can do a lot of nice corrections here, crazy stuff here as well with this moving that hue versus hue, doing the corrections of the color. But as you can see here, we add a little bit of corrections of the color here. They look more greeny than yellow. As you can see, it's not maybe huge different, but it is small different. And I think, as already mentioned, the small difference are usually the best difference, because if you do make very big difference, then they're gonna start looking not natural look and things like that. And we always try to get more natural look of the colors. As you can see, I will say this is very nice. This will look really good video. Then we can leave this one like that. As I mentioned already on the previous on the beginning of that video, there is a lot what you can start creating the corrections as well without using that effect node where you are doing that color space transform. And I will show you how to get all that, and I will show you as well how you can do that correction quickly here and how different it's gonna working on from this LUT. And this LUT you can get from my DJI website, and you have to go to the DJI.com, download software mini 4 Pro D-Log to Rec 709 as like a download center of the DJI website. And if you go to the transcoders here, you will find here DJI Mini 4 Pro DJI D-Log M2 Rec 709. Obviously this is not the correct ways because we are on the DJI Mini 3 Pro D-Cinelike to Rec 709. That's what we're doing. But as well, you can find here other LUTs as well is to Osmo Pocket 3 D-Log M, to Mavic 3 D-Log M if you're using the D-Log M's as well. You can watch my separate video for the DJI Mini 4 Pro DJI D-Log M, how to use that LUT for the DJI Mini 4 Pro. But I would like to show you as well how to use that LUT, because that LUT is, I think, it could be a bit more correct on the beginning of the starting of doing the corrections than this transform for D-Log. Then how to get this LUT, then just have to download whatever software you're working on it. I'm working on the Windows. Then download folder, then you're gonna find your LUT here, and this LUT you have to copy to DJI. To Davinci Resolve. And how to do it? The best way is if you are on a color page, you click on the LUTs here. That's going to open the LUTs folder, and you can right click, open the file location, and that's going to find you the location of the LUTs on the Davinci Resolve. Then go back to download folder. You can cut this one or copy and go back to the LUTs. And you can find here they have already DJI folder, because they already have some folder created here for DJI. There's already some LUTs created here for DJI, and then you can just pass here, and as already on my one showing already exists because I already have this LUT, and you can just copy this one here or move this one here. And if you go back to Davinci Resolve, you have to click on the folder LUTs refresh. That's going to refresh all the LUTs, switches on off, and now you can apply the LUT here. And if you go to DJI, then you're going to see that LUT. But we're not going to do it on this one because this is not a good example to show you. And let me just disconnect this. Let me create the Alt S, the new node. I'm going to disconnect this one here, and I'm going to bypass all this nodes. They're not in the use, and we are like on the fresh node. And I'm going to show you add this LUT here. Now I'm going to add this DJI LUT. You're not going to see that folders here because that's folders where I created this some kind of my LUTs here. And well, let's go to the DJI and DJI Mini 4 Pro D-Log M to Rec 709, and that's how this is going to look. And this is quite crazy good pointing start, because you got already this colors here while we are done a lot of works in the contrast here to get these colors. Then this is gonna be quite, I think, probably more easy, more quickest way of doing the correction. Then we're gonna shift S to go the node before, and you can do exposure. Probably we're gonna get this cranking up here, and I'm gonna do this very quick, just a minute or two quick corrections here. Then we're gonna go another one, Alt S, and we're gonna call temperature / saturation, and saturation. Probably I'm gonna crank it way more up. This, like we crank it on this places here. Temperature, we can find what is a white, what is a black. This is quite white. Okay, and as you can see, this is already, this correction went to -22. When we done the corrections here, then we went to minus like almost 200, and we moved to like -30. Then it's very close to what we done it. Now we can add the Alt S, and we can call contrast, and we can do the curves. If you want to do the curves, you can do the curves, or if you can just try this contrast. It may look okay, and you don't have to do the curves. The curves are not always necessary. The curves are like, you can see if they may work better for you, whatever you think. Obviously with the curves you have to play a little bit more, but I think this is, you don't really need to do in this case. If you got this quite correctly here, then you may not do in the curves, but the curves you can achieve way more of a better way. Well, I'm just gonna do quickly here just to show you how quickly you can do this corrections here. I think it's gonna be like 1-1, something like that. Then as you can see, we already have very nice crazy look corrections here. And how long this took us to do it? Minutes. And we can do another notes. We say correction, and we can do that correction 1, and then we can get this, go to hue versus hue, get our water quickly, and get water here selected, and we can get those two things up here, get the water corrected here, and as well we get parallel node or P, and let's call this node correction 2. And these corrections, we're gonna do the corrections on the same hue versus hue. That trees here, we selected this both of them. Sorry, select something. Then we're gonna do corrections here as well. We're gonna add another things to get this one slightly up. Sorry, other way. We want it more green, and down way. As you can see, we got a little bit more green, and I think that's quite good. And obviously you can play with this a little bit more with the contrast, with the exposure, temperatures, and things like that. But that's how this can look, and it's similar what we done here, but we done this correction a little bit different. And let me disconnect this one here. Let me connect this one here back, and let me get this one. That's how this was look with this effects here for color space transform for DJI, D-Gamut and D-Lock. And that's how, I just have to get this one here that way. Very similar, a little bit different. I think this needs a little bit more contrast. Probably we have to put some shadows here. Maybe down the highlights, maybe a little bit more of contrast, I think. And maybe you can, on exposure, you can lift the gain a little bit up and go the lifts down like that. But yeah, it is very quick, this one, with the lights as well. This is a good way as well. I'm fine, both of the ways very good. Both of the way you can achieve very similar things, but they're gonna be slightly different colors. As you can see, this one is gonna be a little bit different way of colors showing. This one is gonna show a little bit different colors. Both of them are quite correct, but whatever you will think you want to achieve this way, or you want to achieve something like that, I think this is gonna look a little bit more natural look of, I used to do this doing this on the DJI Mini. Then both of the ways quite a good way. Then as you can see, you can do both of the ways. And let's do now the second video. Let's open the clips and let's move to the second clip, and let's do some corrections here. And on this video we're gonna do very similar. We're gonna go to effects, color space transform. So if you decide is cleared, and transform, apply that color space transform, and we're gonna use that DJI D-Gamut, DJI D-Lock. You can see that it's getting quite crazy down, but to be honest, I quite like to use this one because it's giving quite nice cinematic look of the videos. You can use as well that LUT from DJI Mini 4 Pro D-Log M. It's going to be as well quite nice. I can show you the difference as well if we are going to use this one. Let's go out this one, close the clips, then you can see the whole clip. We say we're going to go here, but in some of the cases, like in this case, that look really good, these corrections. Let's add another node and let's switch this one off, and I'm just going to show you how this will look with this LUT from DJI Mini 4 Pro D-Log M. That's how it would look like this. It's more flat. You will do some more corrections here, but if you go this one, does it look quite good, to be honest. It's like really good cinematic video. It doesn't really require much of work. Then you can work on both of them. On both of these corrections you can use this effects with the color space transform and this DJI D-Gamut and D-Log M. Maybe in the future they're gonna be available, the correct ones for the D-Cinelike, or maybe even for DJI Mini 4 Pro, but for the moment they're not there, and we're using D-Log corrections. Or you can use that a lot, whatever you find is best. It's probably is gonna be as well depend on the watch footage and whatever you want to achieve. I'm gonna use on that at the moment this what I was used to use all the time, and that color space transform and D-Log M, and that's how we're gonna start here. We're gonna name this one main. Let me say transform just to know what is this node doing exactly. And we're gonna add another node before, or Shift S, just to go the node serial node before. That's what we added here. And let's do some node. Label this exposure, and let's go do some exposure corrections here. And probably what we're gonna do here, we're gonna lift some colors up, brightness up, because it's a little bit too dark everything. But I'm not gonna do much because I quite like how this look like, because that was as well, that was recorded in the early morning day as well. There was like not much light, so it was quite everything similar to this. But I'm gonna lift it up a little bit. As you can see, all the colors are pushed a little bit to the left, all the highlights. Then let's go to the parade here and lift this on this place, and I'm probably gonna go to as well. There's two different ways if you are moving this wheel here. You can move by clicking and dragging this to left and right, and you go a little bit more of a control this one. But as well, if you are just get your pointer from mouse here and scroll the wheel on your mouse up and down, that's gonna move as well, but it's gonna move by, as you can see, by 0.25. but if you move this one by you're moving by 0.5, then you go a little bit more control moving on by a dragging. But then it's a good way to just go quickly up and down, see where you want to roughly sit here. Say you find this is we say like 26 or something correct, and then you can do small, maybe tiny adjustment here as well if you want to get something change. But remember, always you can always come back to the exposure and do some change here. You can be leaving this one like that, and we're gonna create another node now. And now we're gonna change the temperature saturations, and the temperature saturations we are going to use that white auto white balance first. We see how this is gonna work. It's not many white places here, they're more like a blue way, and it's getting pushing everything away to temperature up to warm. But to be honest, it's that quite look okay, because that's how it was before. That's how it is now. Then it's not that bluey way. I quite like it. Probably, to be honest, probably I will get the tints down, because as you see, it changed the tonations of the color completely. then I want to get the tonation I was before, because this is changing the tonation of a color. You don't have to always do it this one, and I'm probably gonna drop this one slightly down because I still want to get this a little bit more like this, like a dramatic look of colors, a little bit like a darker, things like that. I think that's gonna be quite okay, like around 510, something like that. Or and tint, I'm gonna leave the tints on the 0 because I quite like it how does it look like. And the saturation, probably I will gonna crank this one quite highly up. Let's do some more crazy look, like more dramatic. That's look quite wicked, to be honest, because you can see, if you look on the back of this as well, just fill this one up, you got this nice mountains on the back as well. They look quite nice without these corrections, and it have very nice colors here on the buildings. Those are quite nice, to be honest. Okay, let's use that to fill it up. And now we're gonna do another correction, and it's gonna be a contrast. And then let's add another node, or S, and let's call this node as contrast. Okay, and we're gonna work on the curves. Then we're gonna have to go back here because we went to the hue versus hue in the other video, and that's just to stay on the hue versus hue. And then make sure you click on the curves here and you go to the first screen here. And probably we're gonna manipulate a little bit on the curves just to go a little bit of corrections here. Then, as I already told you, probably I'm gonna do a couple of different dots here. Then probably I'm not gonna touch the bottom, the darkest one, because I think the darkest are quite dark, and I'm not gonna play here much. Maybe I'm gonna add something closer to this here, like that, and maybe add another one here, something here in the middle, and maybe one here. Here, a little bit change the contrast here. What we want to see, getting that sky here. As you can see, where we're dropping down, then we are getting down that most highlighted contrast in between them, and we can see the sky very nicely here. As you can see, it's making that very nice dramatic look, like that's without, that's with it. Then that's quite good, nice. Let's maybe move this one a little bit down here, and you can even create that more like a bluey things here. We focus on this one a little bit more, on this background here. So background is quite nice, creating nice view there on the back. You can see here, maybe something like that. Yeah, I think that's quite a lot. Okay, I think here everything looked pretty good, to be honest, and I quite like it. It's look quite good, really good. This was before, and that's after. It's really like a nice dramatic cinematic video. If you, for example, got this sky here and you want to do some corrections here on that sky only, and as well you can add some of the change here. And let's create another node and label this node's corrections. We do this correction 1 because we're gonna do some more corrections as well. Okay, and we're gonna do just the corrections on the sky. How we can do this one? Obviously, we're not gonna pick just the color here, but there's something else where we can do some corrections. If we go here to that tab is called window, and on the bottom here, you got that things here, and that's where you can do the corrections only above that lane, and you can fade this one in down. As you can see here, that's only selecting the part of the things behind that line over that line, and the bottom thing is not, there's nothing, is like a blank, because it's not gonna do any corrections there. Then we can do some corrections on the sky, and actually we can do something like that, because if you move that line down, that line is doing like a fade in, it's more faded in. Then even if you do corrections, we say here, then let me show you how this is gonna work. Let's get only one color. Then if we get only one color, you will understand this more. Then we're gonna create some different color, yeah. Maybe not the blue one, maybe get a red one. Yeah, that's, you can understand this a little bit more. You see, if we push this one down, that's going fade in a little bit more down. But if we got this one even above your image here or video, then it's still creating corrections on the video because it's going down. Then you don't have to always get this on the video, you can go above. If you want to just get this top bit of the sky, get some corrections, maybe you want to get this showing a little bit more of the details, you can get we can go manipulate with it. For example, we can get the lifts down, so we can say like we want to get this a little bit darker, and let's zoom in this one in, and we can see what we're doing here. Let's get this one, maybe, see, you're creating a little bit more darker, and you can see a little bit more. Obviously we're not gonna go crazy, maybe 1.006, that's gonna be okay. And we can go slightly down with the highest color as well, maybe. See how it's gonna change this if we go down. That's quite sick. You look at this one, that's creating very nice weird look with oh, obviously we don't want to get this one like that, it's just too crazy to be honest for me as well. And then I'm just gonna get this one on a little bit different way. Let's reset this one to 0, and we're gonna go down a little bit, but not that crazy. I think we're gonna go like maybe 0.9, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's gonna be correct. That's gonna be nice without and with these corrections. Let's just add a little bit more of the details. You can see that sky a little bit better. You can see it's like adding like, you can see another like bits behind, and it's like more highlighted. It's quite nice corrections as well. You can do quite a lot of corrections here as well. You can, if you want, you can move this up and down as well, and you can as well rotate this one. You have to get to that arrow here. You can rotate this, as you can see here. So creating rotations as well. For example, you got like a sky maybe only on this curve, and you want to get this sky to be corrected like this, and you want to move this one here, and you just want to get corrections here, but you don't want to get corrections all the way because the sky is moving this directions here. That's a good way to do it in this one as well. And let's do something like that, like this. I think that's quite good. We can maybe get some another corrections, Alt P for the parallel, as we done this previously, and maybe we can do the same corrections as we done on the previous video. And let's do maybe corrections here. We say we want to get some corrections of our water. Probably that's, it could change a little bit more of the things, because as you can see, this water is quite probably similar to that things on the top, as we can see as well. When I'm selecting this on the top as well, it's just selecting the same colors as well. Then let's lift this one up slightly, just to make a bit more yellowy than green. We're not gonna go crazy, as I always say, don't go too crazy. That is without, that is with. It's a little bit more greeny than the blue, and I think that's quite good. I think we achieved very good work here, and we use this effects here from the D-Look. We didn't use that a lot. You can try to use a lot as well here, but I think it's good to try this way and this way. Both of the way will work, both of the way will give you a little bit different goal on this different way of corrections. There's no wrong way of doing this. Uh, every way how you're doing the corrections is a correct way of doing, but it's just a different way. And as well, it's depend on what you want to achieve. Okay guys, that's all for this tutorial. That's everything for this video. Hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to hit that bell for notifications about the new videos, about new tutorials. And as well, don't forget to browse my channel for more contents about the Davinci Resolve, and as well cameras, drones generally. And thank you for watching guys, and I hope you see you in the next video. Thank you, bye.